Come, come, said the old man. Be comforted, my poor child. There is still hope. Hope, repeated Danglars. Hope, faintly murmured Fernand, but the word seemed to die away on his pale, agitated lips, and a convulsive spasm passed over his countenance. Good news! Good news! Shouted forth one of the party stationed at the balcony on the lookout. Here comes Monsieur Morrel back. No doubt now we shall hear that our friend is released. Mercédès and the old man rushed to meet the shipowner and greeted him at the door. He was very pale. What news? Exclaimed a general burst of voices. Alas, my friends, replied Monsieur Morrel, with a mournful shake of his head. The thing has assumed a more serious aspect than I expected. Oh, indeed, sir, he is innocent, sobbed forth Mercédès. That I believe, answered Monsieur Morrel. But still he is charged. With what? Inquired the elder Dante. With being an agent of the Bonapartist faction. Many of our readers may be able to recollect how formidable such an accusation became in the period at which our story is dated. A despairing cry escaped the pale lips of Mercédès. The old man sank into a chair. Ah, Danglars, whispered Caderousse, you have deceived me. The trick you spoke of last night has been played. But I cannot suffer a poor old man or an innocent girl to die of grief through your fault. I am determined to tell them about it. Okay, I'm pulling back the curtain for just a second here, folks. I maybe should have done this a few episodes ago, maybe a week ago. Full disclosure, I batch record these episodes, and therefore I can't know what's transpiring in the world in the future from when I record them. So, however committed we are to putting out one episode per day for the next 4 years, no matter what, there might be some unintended parallels between what we're covering and what's happening in the real world. That's kind of built into the concept of the show, the countdown to Monte Cristo. We're counting down the next 4 years. No more comment than that. But obviously, as I even record this, I don't know what's happening on the day you're listening to it. So if there are any parallels to be drawn, it's completely coincidental. That said, this passage, it gave me a sinking feeling in my tum-tum, even though we knew where this was heading, right? And I think for me, it's the 1-2 punch of Mercédès' emotional reaction to it and Morrel's graveness to it. But Caderousse is really bringing the reality home. Like, his joviality has turned to anger. It's like seeing someone who always makes jokes suddenly lose their cool. And you're like, oh, we're not laughing anymore. Okay. Well, this just got serious. And I'm feeling that dip in your stomach, that roller coaster thing here in this passage. Like, okay, fun and games are over, and now we're fighting for our lives. Ooh, okay. Well, on that note, listen, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're listening every day. I'm happy to be doing this. I'm having a good time, and let's focus on the good stuff. This was a little distraction for today. And we'll have more distractions moving forward. We're still early on in the story. So much good can still come. So let's find out what happens to finish Chapter 5 in the next few episodes, starting tomorrow. I'll see you here then. Okay, goodbye. The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.